Hey guys, this is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. How are we doing today?
Vice President Harris, Speaker Pelosi, Leader Schumer, Senator McConnell, Vice President Pence, my distinguished guests, my fellow Americans. This is America's day. This is democracy's day.
I guess I could use some of this time to get into pleasantries and to talk about many experiences I've had with you, not only here, but in Europe and other places. What do you have in store for us this summer?
That's a good question. Well, I don't know about the summer. I guess I should begin with what we have in store for the spring. I feel that we are in the midst of the most critical period in our nation, and the economic problem is probably the most serious problem confronting the Negro community. And I might say the most serious problem confronting poor people generally. And I don't want to be narrow about this, talking only about the black poor in our country, because I must be concerned about Puerto Ricans who are poor, Mexican Americans, American Indians, and Appalachian whites. And we are confronting a major depression in the poor community. And I think the time has come to bring to bear the power of the direct action, the nonviolent direct action movement on the basic economic conditions that we face all over the country. Nonviolence has been a tremendous force in grappling with the social problem of legal segregation and the syndrome of deprivation surrounding that system. And of course it has been a major force in grappling with the political problem of the denial of the right to vote. But in winning victories like the Civil Rights Bill of '64 and the Voting Rights Bill of 1965 around the issue of segregation and voting rights, we discovered that these legislative strides did very little to improve the lot of the millions of Negroes in the ghettos of the North and in the nation generally. In other words, it did very little to penetrate the lower depths of Negro deprivation in communities all over.
Hey guys, this is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. How's everyone doing today? Tommy Nation Politics.
I'm your girl, Kay Angra. Now, first up, the New York State Assembly is dropping its investigation report into alleged misconduct by former governor. Now, let's break down what's in this 63-page report that details what independent investigators found. Investigators found multiple instances of sexual harassment, including a hostile work environment in Albany. Investigators also say the governor used and abused state resources, including getting staff to write and publish his book. They also say Cuomo and his staff weren't transparent when it came to COVID-19 nursing home deaths. Now, the committee is not likely to move forward with the impeachment, since Cuomo has already resigned. His resignation follows a separate report of sexual misconduct allegations by the New York AG. Cuomo has denied any wrongdoing.
Sanders is left, and I will say that America and our government is obviously serious about providing quality health care to as many Americans as possible. I think we spend somewhere near $400 billion for VA. We spend over $520 billion on Medicare. We spend probably $350 to $400 billion on Medicaid. We spend $200 or $300 billion on Obamacare. We have provided somewhere near $1.7 trillion for health care. We spend about $800 billion as a nation on public education, K through 12. But unfortunately, in the poorest zip codes of this nation, the system fails those kids, so that the quality of your education determines the quality of your life so often, and yet the poorest kids have too few options for quality education, and we fuse together the quality of your education with the quality of your future. I didn't come here to argue about the issues. I came here to make a difference about these issues. And frankly, I don't think we have done a good job making a difference for the average person in this country who watches the processes and the performances here in Washington, and they are sick to their stomach. And so when we hear that what we need is more money, and we have actually no conversation, no debate over what we're going to do with the money, of course it's frustrating. I hear my friends on the other side, and I watched in 2017 as we passed tax reform through reconciliation. As you said, Bob, without any question, we did it. And what was the result of that reconciliation package? Well, it was in 2018, it was a 3% increase in revenue to the Treasury. In 2019, it was a 3% increase in the Treasury as well. And over those 3.5 years, we saw $4,400 come back to the average American family. We saw taxes for a single mother like the one that raised me go down by about 70%, her tax burden to the federal government. We saw about a 60% reduction in taxes, federal taxes for working class Americans. If you're looking for a way to attack the rich, we actually created a system of taxation that is still progressive. But what we said was a little different. We said that actually creating incentives like the opportunity zone so that those who have will reinvest in places that don't, bringing about $75 billion back to the poorest Americans who happen to be consistently, disproportionately people of color.
We renew our resolve that America will never be a socialist country.
That was Representative Tim Scott talking about Bernie Sanders and his reconciliation bill. The social spending bill, which is just now passed, the House Democrats have passed it without any progressive legislation. So I don't know what Tim Scott's talking about. I can relate to him on the, we're not having any conversation about how it's spent, but it's by design. Joining me, my guest, Stephanie Smith from Progressives Against Neoliberalism. We're going to talk about some neoliberalism today. There's a lot going on, Stephanie. How's it going?
It's going great.
Good. So, any thoughts so far when talking about Andrew Cuomo's radical and overwhelming evidence that he not only abused his power when it came to, rape and sexual assault, but writing his books, he pretty much abused his power to do whatever he wanted to do. Are you surprised by that, Stephanie?
Oh, I am absolutely not surprised by that. I think that's probably even just scratching the surface of things that he's done. I mean, yeah.
I mean, I agree with that.
I guess.
What do you say about these Republicans wanting to know what we're spending money on? Like, do they have something that? Do they really have an argument? Do they have a real argument? Or are they just making fucking bullshit? Because those Trump tax cuts,
know what we're spending.
We didn't know we were spending money on. Huh? Me too. I mean, it sounds justifiable, right? But then you have to remember that these guys continuously do the same things. Both of them. Both parties.
Back and forth. Back and forth.
So I did a live stream, I think 2 days ago, on when the Democrats passed this bill, the bill that I didn't think it was going to pass the House. I thought it was going to die there like the Heroes Act.
The Build Back Better.
Yeah, the Build Back Better.
Yeah. Okay.
And I had to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you a question, Stephanie, because you're a gung-ho Bernie supporter. And so are a lot of progressives, and I understand. What are you going to do if Bernie Sanders just lets this fucking go? Are you going to just... What are you going to think? What are you going to think about that?
I honestly have my standards set so low at this point with Bernie that it wouldn't surprise me. I'm almost like wanting to just throw my hands up in the air and be like, screw it.
Wave them around like you just don't care. I mean, that's what he's doing, honestly.
Maybe
if
I
he
was
decides
wrong.
to let this fucking corporate giveaway go through. I mean, it's not about us being wrong or right. It's about us using empirical data to make a judgment for the future, a good judgment based on the analysis and the data. It's not about who's wrong and who's right. That's these political parties have completely just fucking taken that.
It's about growing
Exactly.
a backbone and standing up for it. I mean,
Right.
Democrats have no backbone whatsoever.
But it's by design, Stephanie. It's by design. Just today, I'm on Facebook, and you know how I have a group, free thinkers who want to meet in the middle. There's this diehard partisan sycophant. I'm not going to name his name, but basically, this is my big deal. This is why I wanted to get on, and I'm going to have a little bit to say about this. But first, I shared that Biden has finally tapped his new Fed chairman, which, by the way, he's about to get $1.2 trillion from the Fed this minute on his bill passed bipartisan. He just tapped his new fucking drug dealer, Jerome Powell. Now, Jerome Powell is a Republican. He's a diehard conservative and a Trump fucking sycophant.
Yes, he is.
What do the fucking Biden supporters have to say about this shit? Well, I say that this is fucking bullshit. After 10 months, he picks a Trump Republican. May God have mercy on us all. This sycophant says, if the confirmation process was not such a pain, maybe he nominated someone else, huh? So now the fucking sycophants are gonna fucking, they're gonna blame the entire process for the neoliberalism now. Now they're gonna blame the entire fucking process of confirmation for neoliberalism. Everybody but Joe Biden. Everybody but fucking Jerome Powell. Everybody but the people who are actually doing the neoliberalism, bro. Stephanie, this is bad. It's bad. It's the process. It's not Joe. It's not Joe Biden. If only it wasn't cinema. If only it wasn't Manchin. If only it wasn't the process. If only you guys would shut the fuck up, because you sound retarded. So I really want to say that, but I can't on Facebook anymore.
You
get
can't
fucking
say
sucked.
anything on Facebook
I'll get
anymore.
I know. Dude, I can't even say any. Dude, if I tried to even remotely call these people what they are, which are spineless, sycophantic, retarded mollusks. Or what do you call those the sponges that live underneath the ocean? They suck up all of the shit inside the ocean, and then they fucking just die there. They live there. They die there.
Starfish?
They eat there. No, not starfish. Starfish are better than that. I think it's sea sponge. You know, that's what it is. Yeah, you fucking partisans, you fucking live in a fucking pineapple under the sea. Just like fucking SpongeBob SquarePants. and Anthony Blinken. Anthony Blake is there too with you, Parsons. So
I
I saw a
don't
Politico.
understand how a party
Go ahead.
can be so out of touch with what its constituents want.
Because they're not. I mean,
They're
it's like George Carlin said, it's a big
so-
club and we're not in it. They just pretend we're in it to get our votes. And then they discard us like trash. It really is it's simple. And I mean, if you just don't take it personally and you just see it empirically, it makes sense, doesn't it, Stephanie? They don't care about us at all. They're not
yeah.
they're not for us. If they were for us, they would be doing the things that we would want, right?
Yeah. We're basically a resource for them. We are a resource for them.
We're a resource, exactly. We're a fucking we're like they're like the aliens in Independence Day. You know, they go to every resource and then they fucking suck it dry and then they move on. They've gone to working class, they've gone to the middle class, gone to the lower class, they've gone to blacks, whites, gays, Jews, they've gone to Hispanics, they've sucked us all dry. And now President Joe Biden says Monday he's going to appoint a Federal Reserve Chair, Jerome Powell. The Federal Reserve. Now that is a fucking whole thing in itself. I really feel like
That makes me sick to my stomach.
I mean, it does, right? But you'll get used to it, Stephanie. Don't worry. You'll get used to the feeling of sickness in your stomach. So it was bipartisan backing. So looks like the Democratic Party is not run by the squad and socialism. Unlike Sean Hannity's fucking outbursts and Fox News has said. Apparently the squad and socialism didn't want Jerome Powell as the Fed chair appointee. So what do you think about that, Sean Hannity? What do you think Sean Hannity thinks about that, Stephanie? Do you think he cares? Or do you think he's just saying word vomit?
Word vomit.
Obviously. What is his deal? What is his deal, bro? He says nothing. He says but he's not even like Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson at least has a point. He has like a fucking witty monologue, and those eyes are like, interesting.
Where he looks constipated when he's thinking really hard.
Yeah, exactly. Sean Hannity is just like, he gets on there, he's like, I just ate like a fucking whole fucking bucket of KFC. Socialism, full stop. Oh, what is this? The squad, New Deal, socialism, Green New Deal, communism, socialism. No more hamburgers. What are you gonna do? The squad's led by this for socialism. Stop. What the fuck are you doing, Sean? Like, what is your act?
Why can't we just send them back where they came from?
You know what's funny is that there's somebody out there who's like literally they're like clapping along. Oh yeah, Sean, you know it. Socialism, full stop. The squad. Democrats, yeah, the left. The left. I guess these fucking idiots talk about the left all like if they don't realize, the Republicans do it too. You think John Boehner? You think he was for the Tea Party and their stupid fucking conservative principles? No. Joe Biden's not for the left or our fucking. He finds our fucking principles and values repulsive. Joe Biden does. They're not left or right.
Now, what makes you think he has some repulsive? I mean, just in your your thought process.
I will give you my thought process because that is a large accusation. Okay, first of all, he has never enacted any of our agenda, even though he said. Then he has straight up. Let's talk about some things the progressives want. A Green New Deal.
Just remember, there's some
legalization of marijuana, and Medicare for all. Joe Biden literally said, "I will veto Medicare for all if it passes the House and Senate." Joe Biden said, "I will personally veto Medicare for all." Do you not remember that?
Yeah.
So, what do you think? Do you think that sounds like he finds Medicare for all repulsive? To me, okay.
Yeah.
So then he fires all of his staffers that smoke marijuana. It says on the New York Times. He fires them all, and he replaces them with non-smoke people. And this is not people that have smoked marijuana like in his White House recently. This is people who have ever smoked marijuana.
Okay, see, I didn't know that.
He gave them lie detector tests. And people who said, I smoked marijuana in the past were fired. Then in the Democratic debate, him and Cory Booker, famously, I thought you were high when you said that. He said that needs to be studied more and criminalized because we don't know what it does in the long-term future. He does know what Pfizer and Moderna boosts getting, but he does not know what marijuana does in the future.
Of course.
We need to fucking continuously fucking study that shit. He finds marijuana. He finds it what? He finds it repulsive. He does. He finds marijuana as it's a poor man's drug. Alcohol is a rich man's drug. He said this too. Joe Biden said this too. So anyway, this is all the things that he's said. He's proven them with not our minimum wage set up as parliamentarian. The process is what's wrong with Jerome Powell. It's Kirsten Sinema, Joe Manchin that's in the way of the fucking the social spending bill. But in reality, who the leader of the Democratic Party is? Guess who said, I am the Democratic Party? Yes,
Joe Biden
said that. So, it's funny. Here's the video.
We renew our resolve that America will never be a socialist country.
Someone should alert Trump that America is now a hotbed of socialism, but it's socialism for the rich. Everyone else is treated to harsh capitalism. In the conservative mind, socialism is getting something for doing nothing. This promoter's receipt of $600 million in federal contracts, plus $500 million in tax breaks since Trump took office. Some of this corporate welfare has gone into the pockets of GM executives. Chairman and CEO Mary Barra raked in almost $22 million in total compensation in 2017 alone. But GM employees are subject to harsh capitalism. GM is planning to lay off more than 14,000 workers and close 3 assembly plants and 2 factories in North America by the end of 2019. The nation's largest banks saved $21 billion last year thanks to Trump's tax cuts, some of which went into massive bonuses for bank executives. On the other hand, thousands of lower-level bank employees got a big dose of harsh capitalism. They lost their jobs. Banks that are too big to fail, courtesy of the 2008 bank bailout, enjoy a hidden subsidy of some $83 billion a year because they have the backing of the federal government. This hidden subsidy gives Wall Street's giant banks a huge advantage. In 2017, Wall Street's bonus pool was $31.4 billion. So take away the hidden subsidy, and that bonus pool disappears, along with most profits. Trump and his appointees at the Federal Reserve are easing bank requirements put in place after the bailout, but they will make sure the biggest banks remain too big to fail. When he was in business, Trump perfected the art of using bankruptcy to shield himself from the consequences of bad decisions. Socialism for the rich at its worst, while leaving employees twisting in the wind. Now, all over America, executives who run their companies into the ground are getting gold-plated extras while their workers get pink slip. Under socialism for the rich, you can screw up big time and still reap big rewards. Equifax's Richard Smith retired in 2017 with an $18 million pension in the wake of a security breach that exposed the personal information of 145 million customers to hackers. Wells Fargo's Carrie Tolstead departed with a $125 million exit package after being in charge of the unit that opened more than 2 million unauthorized customer accounts.
That's the way the cookie crumbles.
Today is traded home, renewal and resolve. Through a crucible for the ages, America has been tested anew, and America has risen to the challenge. Today, we celebrate the triumph not of a candidate, but of a cause, the cause of democracy.
What I proposed is that we expand Obamacare and we increase it. We do not wait any, and one of the big debates we had with 23 of my colleagues trying to win the nomination that I won, we're saying that Biden wanted to allow people to have private still. They can, they do, they will under my proposal.
It's not what you've said, and it's not what your party has said.
That is simply
Your party doesn't say. Your party wants to go socialist
my
medicine
party is
and
me.
socialist
right
healthcare.
now. I am,
and they're going to dominate you, Joe. You know that.
I am the Democratic Party right now. The platform of the Democratic Party is what I, in fact, approved of. What I approved of. Now, here's the deal. The deal is that it's going to wipe out pre-existing conditions. And by the way, the 200,000 people that have died on his watch, how many of those have survived? Well, there's 7 million people that contracted COVID. What does it mean for them going forward if you strike down the Affordable Care Act?
COVID misinformation. On COVID misinformation, what's the message to black exploitation?
They're killing people. I mean, they really, look, the only pandemic we have is among the unvaccinated. And they're killing people.
Also realize that the problems of racial injustice and economic injustice cannot be solved without a radical redistribution of political and economic power. We read one day, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But if a man doesn't have a job or an income, he has neither life nor liberty and the possibility for the pursuit of happiness. He merely exists. Estimated that we spend $322,000 for each enemy we kill in Vietnam, while we spend in the so-called war on poverty in America only about $53 for each person classified as poor. The promises of the Great Society have been shot down on the battlefield of Vietnam, making the poor, white and Negro, bear the heaviest burdens both at the home. The other thing I want you to understand is this, that it didn't cost the nation 1 penny to integrate lunch counters. It didn't cost the nation 1 penny to guarantee the right to vote. But now we are dealing with issues that cannot be solved without the nation spending billions of dollars and undergoing a radical redistribution of economic power.
Time now for a bottom line look at the various tax increases that companies and high earners face under the House bill. Robert Frank.
Cannot be solved without a redistribution of wealth. This is socialism for the rich, not socialism. You can call it democratic socialism. You can call it a redistribution of wealth. But Martin Luther King called it a redistribution of wealth because socialism for the rich is happening. He says socialism for the rich and rugged individualism for everyone else. Martin Luther King, 1968. 1968. It's 1968, hopefully. Make sure I get that day right, guys. Before he died. It's one of the last things he said before they killed him. They couldn't have that. Lunch counters, yes. Malls, yes. We can sell all kinds of stuff to black and white people, Martin. We can market, brand, get growth interests, quarterly interests to black people and white people, Martin. We can sell basketball tickets, baseball tickets, HBO, subscriptions to blacks and whites, Martin. But don't ever talk about a redistribution of wealth. Don't ever talk about socialism for the rich and rugged individualism for everyone else. That crosses a line, Martin. It crosses a line. Cross the line, guys. And he paid for it. This Time Nation Tuesday, we will explore what he meant by socialism for the rich and rugged individualism for everyone else. 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Join me. Hey guys, this is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. How's everyone doing today? Tommy Nation Politics.